in my spirit, there is much suffering, but we cannot, wipe out the Khmer Rouge. So we have to try to soften their behavior. They used to be very cruel, and I continue to say to them, please avoid to be cruel. Please be like the other Cambodians. And it seems that they would like to listen more or less to me. I am not sure that they have changed their mind, but the fact is that they are intelligent enough to see that they cannot go on as they used to be before.
China would continue to back the Pol Pot forces come what may. Chinese trucks and generous military aid were shipped through Thailand to revive the Khmer Rouge. The Chinese declared that these guerrillas would bleed the Vietnamese. Pol Pot himself had survived, but he discreetly retired from any public political role. However, as military commander, he was vital to regrouping the Khmer Rouge and mounting their war of attrition to wear down the Vietnamese. Once they'd recovered, the Khmer Rouge were able to mobilize up to 40,000 fighters. Later, the Vietnamese succeeded in overrunning all the camps and guerrilla bases along the border. This was a serious blow to the other resistance factions, but the Khmer Rouge were undaunted. Operating in small teams, their guerrillas continued to range throughout the country, laying ambushes and striking terror. Understandably, there was nothing the Khmer Rouge could ever do to redeem themselves in the eyes of most Kampucheans. Nevertheless, they made a number of public gestures in a vain attempt to improve their image. In a chilling understatement, the Khmer Rouge leaders now conceded that, yes, some mistakes were made. But of course they were not to blame for the mass murders or any policy of genocide. These were conspiracies hatched by the Vietnamese, they said. Incredibly, after a series of public meetings, the Khmer Rouge claimed that they had renounced communism altogether. Henceforth, the Communist Party itself had been disbanded. Pol Pot's closest partner and his deputy prime minister was Ieng Sary. Speaking at a Khmer Rouge base inside Kampuchea, he denies that dissolving the Communist Party was just a ploy. We started our Communist Party in order to oppose the Vietnamese. Regardless of communist theory, we could not abolish the borders between our countries.
But the main objective of the founding of this party is to fight against the Vietnamese ambition, expansionist ambition to swallow Cambodia. And it has been right from the beginning. The Vietnamese was always against the founding of this party, because for the Vietnamese, they want, as you can see, as you know, their ambition is to have just one party, one people, one country in the Indochina.
On the diplomatic front, Thailand and its anti-communist partners in Southeast Asia found common cause with China in backing the resistance. But they were embarrassed by Pol Pot's reputation. So to win respectability for the resistance, the ASEAN nations had lobbied and pressured for a coalition with the Khmer Rouge, still the official government of democratic Kampuchea.
Son San and Sihanouk, despite they hate and fear the Khmer Rouge, they have to associate themselves with the Khmer Rouge and ASEAN itself, the United States themselves. They have to vote for the tripartite coalition, including the Khmer Rouge at the UN. Everybody condemned the Khmer Rouge in the speech. But when they vote, they have to vote, they vote for the Khmer Rouge. Even before the forming of the coalition with Son Sann and Sihanouk, the United States and all Western countries, including Australia, voted for the Khmer Rouge. Always, every year at the General Assembly of the UN. Why? Because there is a necessity. I want to play the role of a harmonizer, a link between all political parties. I must continue the all good tradition of ancient Khmer kings. Destiny has decided to put Cambodia forever till the end of the life of our planet Earth, close to Vietnam. We want to be friend, a good friend, loyal friend to Vietnam, for Vietnam. But the Vietnamese fait accompli in Cambodia is unacceptable. I want all Cambodian parties to unite in order to be able to make peace in Cambodia and to rebuild our nation. But up to now I am not very successful because the other parties, Son Sann's party, Khmer Rouge party, Heng Samrin's party, they are not ready to unite, you know, but I will continue to try to persuade them to come together closer and closer to each other and to unite with my help.
In characteristic style, Sihanouk made frequent threats to resign from the coalition. Then, in 1987, he did resign, but only temporarily. Henceforth, he would reconsider his position with the coalition from year to year. He said this was to protest against Khmer Rouge attacks on his supporters. But far from retiring, Sihanouk began a dialogue with the Heng Samrin regime. The prince would be torn between hope and frustration, but this was a first step towards reconciliation with the Vietnamese side.
You know, we cannot remake history. I do not think that I make serious mistakes. May I quote, Sihanouk made mistakes like any other man, but he was a fantastic diplomat and a great nationalist. I apologize, but because Sylvana Fua wrote this. He kept his people well fed, happy, and at peace by walking a very thin tightrope between the big powers. After living in this country, one can only wish the best for these people, and right now the best one can wish for them is the speedy return of Sihanouk, said one diplomat, wrote Miss Sylvana Fua. So, you know, you should see Mr. Lonol, because if he had to go back to the starting point, would he like to destroy his country by a coup d'etat against Sihanouk? Or would he like to maintain Sihanouk as head of state? I think your question should be put to Lonol.